Hello and welcome to the 2-minute series. The topic for today is marginal standing facility. This is an important term which often students find difficult to understand. So let's come to the definition aspect. Now it is the rate at which the banks are able to borrow overnight funds from RBI against the approved securities. Now we have various, even in the previous several terms we have discussed that often it happens that the banks require some money and so they borrow from RBI. So for example, even in repo rate, something like this was what was happening. But what happens in the case of marginal standing facility is that this borrowing is what is done overnight. Banks are when in need of sudden cash overnight. In that case, MSF is what comes into action and the RBI lends money to these banks. Now, what you should know about MSF is that it was created by the RBI in its credit policy of May 2011. And another very important aspect here is the difference that MSF has from the repo rate, because in repo rate also, as you all know, the banks are borrowing money from the RBI. So first and foremost difference is with regards to the duration. In case of MSF, the duration is overnight, whereas in the case of repo rate, the duration is a period of 14 days. So both are short-term loans, but MSF is a shorter duration loan. Another thing that you should know is with regards to the government securities. Now, whenever the RBI is giving a loan to the banks, in return, the RBI always takes a collateral, which is the government securities. Now, if you remember that in the case of repo rate, I had specifically mentioned that these government securities are not a part of the SLR. Other than the SLR requirement, the bank also keeps government securities, and those are the government securities which are given in the case of repo rate. However, because MSF is something that is an emergency loan which the bank has taken, in that particular case, RBI has made some norms where RBI allows the banks to give the securities which the bank has under the SLR norms. So this is the difference with regards to government securities, that in repo rate, the government securities are not a part of SLR, whereas in MSF, these securities can be a part of the SLR. Another thing that is important is with regard to the rate that the RBI is charging. Now here, obviously, if these securities are a part of the SLR, the risk with the RBI is something that is increasing. So the rate of interest that the RBI is going to charge on this loan is also going to be higher. So MSF is always higher than the repo rate, and a fixed amount is what is there, that MSF is 1% higher than the repo rate. So that's all that you need to know about MSF. I thank you all for watching the video and I'll see you tomorrow.